Are you looking to buy or sell in 2024? Let Amber White help you find your home sweet home. Amber is a local realtor to the Kokomo and Howard County area, and when I say she knows her stuff, she knows her stuff. When we decided to move closer to family, I literally messaged Amber and told her I wanted to sell my house, and then later I want to buy this house, and she made it all happen. Buying and selling is such an overwhelming process, but Amber seriously took care of every single step and eliminated all the stress for us. Her knowledge was invaluable, and while I say I never want to move again, I know exactly who to call if we decide to. Follow her on Facebook at Amber White, Realtor /broker with Carrie Gruhl and Associates, or you can give her a call at 765-865-1118.
This is Jonathan Keith, and you are listening to Missing Midwest, a true crime podcast about those that have gone missing. Today is about a little girl who tragically lost her mom and then was tragically lost herself. Murder, abandonment, kidnapping, nobody knows what happened to 2-year-old Nikole Betterson. April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and we want to start out by simply saying, if you see something, say something. Most of the time, kids are not able to say they need help. Some don't even know that help is available. Many adults don't know what to look for, who to talk to, what they see, but we do. We are crime junkies. Everybody listening here, we look for red flags. We know what they are. So just pay attention to the kiddos around you. You could save a life.
One of the best decisions I've ever made for myself is something I never thought I would do. You want to know my secret? Hiring a cleaning company. Like, who does that? I never thought I would say that I'm going to have my house cleaned for me. But in this season of life, with young kids and sports and work and side hustles, I had to decide how I wanted to spend my free time, and cleaning was not on that list. Stanley Cleaning Company has given me my free time back. They come once a month, and they sweep and mop my entire house and clean my bathrooms for me, and let me tell you, it is my favorite day of the month. Coming home to a sparkling clean house and knowing that I just saved 3+ hours of my time to spend with my kids is such a mental health game changer for me. It doesn't matter who from their team comes, they leave my house shining. And the best part is it's affordable. Christine offers an a la carte menu. You can do a general or a deep cleaning, just a sweep and a mop. You can do once a month or every week, a spring cleaning or a pre-party clean. She even has a postpartum mom clean that happens while you're in the hospital having your baby, and I can attest to that. It is amazing. Give them a call today for a free quote, and I promise it will be the best self-care you can imagine. You can find them on Facebook at Stanley Cleaning Company, or you can give her a call or a text at 765-860-3606. What's up? Got a case?
Yep.
What is wrong? I've never heard of this one, so.
Yeah. We are back, from baby girl being born. She's here in the studio with us right now. Kayla's holding her as I'm talking here. I held her for the Murdered Midwest episode, and Kayla's holding her for this one. She's a perfect baby. So you might hear little squeaks and murmurs here and there, but overall she's easy. So, I did this one. I haven't really talked to Kayla about it. She's had other things to do,
Been a bit busy.
But, like I mentioned, it is,
We did want to do a couple of child abuse cases just to
because it's worth
bring awareness to it. It's
Yeah.
Child Abuse Prevention Month, and that's something that is...
It's hard to talk about, but it's something that has to be talked about because too many cases If
you listened to the Sylvia Likens case yesterday, we talked about red flags and stuff. There wasn't really red flags in her case. It was literally just plain abuse in front of people's eyes that they didn't even report. I mean, there's a difference between suspecting abuse and seeing it. You should be reporting both of them.
Right.
So if you even suspect something, report it.
Yeah.
In the Sylvia case, it was literally people watching her being abused and not doing anything, which is sickening. But it's easy. I mean, it's like one of those like. Do you like? It's the what's it called? Bystander effect.
Yeah.
People assume other people are going to do it.
Right.
I try to completely just not follow that at all.
Yeah.
If I see something happening, you need to think nobody else is going to report it, because odds are they probably won't.
Well, and it's like from a teacher's perspective, like if we were to ever see something that made us concerned, we would report it to our guidance counselor. They would go through the proper channels. CPS gets involved. If CPS is like, hey, you know what? We just got a call from the police to look into this kid for these reasons. You start stacking up those mentions of bystanders doing something and saying something. It's going to get the kid help a lot faster. So, and if nothing's happening, CPS is going to go in. They're going to check it out. I'm not saying CPS is perfect by any stretch, but there's going to be steps taken to at least try to help, and that's only going to come if people are referring them.
And you know what? Like, if there's nothing wrong, then there's nothing to worry about.
Right. Yeah. It's like I said before, it's like very quick to rule that out.
I'd rather somebody call CPS on me and my kids just to make sure they're safe than because guess what? You're not going to find anything at my house. But if they find it, then they'll be able to take care of it. It's like that somebody just posted the other day, that guy, there was a kid, he was taking a kid out, his kid out in a parking lot, and the kid was throwing a fit and didn't want to go with the dad. And another guy stopped him and was like, hey, like, is this your kid? And the guy was annoyed.
Sure.
He was like, you're a stranger because you're a stranger and you're asking me if this is my kid. And he was annoyed, and he got his phone out and he showed him pictures. And the guy said, okay, I just wanted to make sure. And then he said later, he was like, man, like, what if it was somebody taking my kid? Like, that guy was looking out for my kid. Like, I want people to look out for my kids. Look out for kids everywhere.
We tell this story. We were at, what was that place we were at in Kokomo with Truman?
I don't even remember, but
it was like this furniture
Truman
store.
was throwing a fit.
Truman was probably like 2, throwing an absolute fit, and I picked him up and I was carrying him out to our car. We're walking down the street, and he's screaming, I want my daddy. I'm holding my son. Yeah. And he's screaming, I want my daddy. And there were all these guys on a roof. They were roofing this house.
They were roofing a house, and there was like men everywhere.
Like, there was guys on the roof, guys on the floor.
And you know what? Not one of them said anything.
Well, but they all stopped and looked at me, and I was like, I'm his dad. I'm his dad. I am his dad. I'm going to get in this truck right here and wait for his mom. Like, And so I was like, dude, if they would have came down and been like, you're not going anywhere until we see this kid's mom. Like, I would have been like, I respect that. Like, in the moment, you're not feeling great about that. But it's one of those things where, I'm not above freaking, if I see a kid screaming, trying to get away from an adult, be like, hey, do you know this adult? That's all you got to do. Hey, do you know this adult? If they say no, that's a problem. If they say my daddy is whatever, then it's like, you can make a judgment call there. But yeah, I mean,
it's just looking out.
Yeah, just
looking out for other kids, looking out for people.
So yeah, this case, it's not going to be near as dark as the one Kayla did yesterday for Murdered Midwest. It's more just about, another perspective of child abuse in terms of neglect or just the lack of caring about a child's life, which is heartbreaking. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get into it. Today we're heading up to Michigan, Dearborn, Michigan to be exact. Dearborn is over by Detroit. It's like at the bottom of the thumb of that. The Michigan people like to show you the hand. This is my state. Population is about $110,000.
What?
I don't know why I said that. The population is about 110,000. They have $2 generals, which is kind of like, wait a minute, but it's like right outside Detroit. It's kind of a small area, honestly. Like geographically, you're like, I get why there's only $2 generals. Because it's right next to Detroit.
There's that many people in there?
They're like, I don't understand how that many people fit into Dearborn, but whatever. There's a lot of people there. So yeah, I give them a pass, I guess. And I'm sure there's Dollar Generals in Detroit and the other surrounding areas. All right, we're going back to 1977 for this case of a missing girl. I mentioned earlier, Child Abuse Prevention Month. Things like this can still happen. Like when I first read this story, I'm like, okay, well, that was 1977. But then it's like, as you move forward, it's like, unfortunately, people could still do this, So I'm going to tell this story about Nikole Betterson, and I just want you to keep in mind, what would it look like in 2024, and how could you help stop this, by hearing people, talk about their plans, seeing relationships that are, probably not healthy, and just keeping tabs on the people that you know and care about. All right.
Johnny, question for you.
Yeah.
If I was somewhere in Kokomo and it wasn't our house and it wasn't the flower shop, where would I be?
Easy. Humble home.
Yes, you're right. You guys, listen up. Humble home is my absolute favorite place to be for so many reasons. No matter what I am looking for, I always check Humble home first. Clothes, shoes, toys, decor, furniture, makeup, they literally always have something that I need. They have brand name items for cheap. Their inventory is constantly changing, so it's part of my weekly routine to do a Humble Home walkthrough. You absolutely need to stop by. I promise you won't be disappointed. While it is a discount store, it's not your average discount store. It's clean, organized, and everything has its place. I get zero anxiety when I go in, unlike other discount stores. And no matter what you're shopping for, a home project, gifts, home decor, even seasonal decor, they will have it. They are open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sunday from noon to 5. You can follow them on Facebook at Humble Home Kokomo and watch for new items every single day. And for our Lafayette, Indiana listeners, I have exciting news. They are opening a second location in Lafayette soon. As soon as I have the details, I will let you know their opening date. Get excited.
So Nikole Betterson was born in 1975 to parents Susan Klingel and Jarrett Betterson. The couple is not married, but they were raising Nikole together. On Labor Day weekend in 1977, Jarrett was driving and he lost control of his car, which led to the vehicle rolling several times before crashing. Jarrett and 2-year-old Nikole were surprisingly unharmed, but Susan had been thrown from the vehicle and died on the scene.
Oh gosh, the mom?
Yeah, the mom. So the mom passed away.
That's terrible.
So then the dad is left with this little girl. Her parents were involved. So her parents, were obviously devastated to lose their daughter, and they have this granddaughter that they now have to, help with, or that they want to help with. Responders found marijuana in the car and intended to bring charges against Jared for vehicular manslaughter.
Oh,
obviously,
wow.
It was not legal then, and it was like something happened. There was no other cars involved, so it was like you crashed this car, which killed this woman. But like as time went on, they just never brought the charges. Like the investigation just never happened, really.
Never mind.
And so I don't know if one of the reports I said that it was a sloppy investigation that never went anywhere.
I wonder if they found out that he didn't have it in his system.
I mean, I don't know. But he was never charged for anything with that. Less than 2 months later, Jarrett had another girlfriend.
Oh,
Barbara. So.
Drama.
The daughter of the mother of your daughter passes away. Your girlfriend, within 2 months, you have another girlfriend. That's a red flag. Number one. Red flag number two is that the two planned to move out west for a different life. Dearborn, Michigan wasn't doing it for them. They said we wanted to go out west. Susan's parents were devastated about this. They're like, we just lost our daughter. We don't want to lose our granddaughter as well. They,
I bet they weren't thrilled.
Pressing them to reconsider. Obviously, they had bad feelings against him.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that he had marijuana in the car when she died. They did not like the fact that he had they kind of blamed her drug involvement.
Yeah, I bet that
on him. It was rough. And so it's like Christmas time at this point. And they don't want them to leave. It's an emotional time of the year. They've lost their daughter, all these things. And he was like, no, we're leaving. We're moving out. We're going out west. Yeah. And so they actually left Michigan before Christmas. So less than 4 months after the crash, he's out of there, with their granddaughter.
Wow.
Before they left, Barbara promised Susan's parents, Bill and Mary, they just sound like Bill and Mary, in the 70s. That's a sweet couple. I know that.
They're probably nice.
Yeah. So before they left, Barbara talked to Bill and Mary and said, I promise that, quote, I will be a good mother to Nikole. She will be well taken care of. Which I bet that just ticked their parents off. Susan's parents. First of all, you're gonna be a stepmom to that girl. Her mom was my daughter who is not here. I don't want to, let's use different terms. I don't know. I'm just sure that rubbed them the wrong way.
Yeah.
But also they have no control. He has full custody of this girl, right? It's his daughter, biological daughter. No mom in the picture anymore, unfortunately. So they were going to leave. They were not clear exactly where they were going. It was just we're going out west.
My God.
They did not commit to keeping Susan's parents up to date or being involved, which I'm
My
sure
mother
they were,
would never.
I literally wrote in here.
My mother would stalk. She would be like, "Well, we're all going." Then.
Yeah,
she'd be in the back seat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was. I wrote in here like my in-laws would absolutely never, let this happen. But also just like it's a common courtesy to keep the biological grandparents like up to date, especially if they want it. When they start talking to like Jarrett and Barbara's friends, they're like, "Hey, do you know where they went?" They're like, "Yeah, I think they said they were going to Vegas."
Wow.
Like somewhere like I think they're going to California. Like they didn't have a concrete like way. And they never once tried to contact Susan's family once they got where they were going. Like they never got like a letter in the mail saying, "Hey, this is where we
like
settled." Yeah.
Completely disregarded that she's the mother of this child.
Exactly. So Susan's parents didn't have like an address to write to or a phone number to call. The granddaughter was just like gone.
Wow.
And that was really hard for them, obviously, and like, what do you do?
Nothing. There's nothing you
can do.
Did you know the Jefferson House of Flowers has been a local Kokomo florist for almost 100 years? Our trained designers make beautiful arrangements for literally any occasion. You can send flowers for any reason. Birthdays, anniversaries, get well, congratulations. The list goes on. We make flowers for funerals, weddings, proposals, and even proms. Let's be honest. Receiving flowers, whether you're at home or at your work, it makes you feel special. You get butterflies and you feel loved, and that's what sending flowers is all about, the feeling it creates. Call us at 765-452-8269 and let us create something special and send it out for you. Or you can stop in and see us at 4300 West, 100 North Kokomo. We always have a cooler full of flowers that are ready to go, as well as a boutique full of gifts. Shop local, support local, and send flowers.
Well, fast forward to 1997. So like 20 years after they lost their daughter. Nikole will be 22 at this point. Bill and Mary were getting older, and they wanted to include Nikole like in their will, like as they're starting to like think about.
Yeah,
those things.
I bet.
They're like, like this is our daughter's daughter. Like, we want that for her. And but obviously they would have to have some information. They couldn't just like throw money into the atmosphere and get to her.
Yeah.
So they were also hoping at this point, like if we can find Nikole, like she'd be 22 now, like her parents wouldn't be involved in whether or not she could have a relationship with them. Maybe she would want to reconnect with her mother's family. And so they hired a private investigator to track her down. I freaking love it when people hire private investigators.
I want to be a private investigator.
Like it's like, yes. Well, I mean, just like they don't have as many things bogging them down as law enforcement does. And their caseloads are smaller. They're able to do the whole, this whole week, my only job
They can do a lot.
Yeah, I'm going to sit in my car and eat McDonald's until I find this person. You know what I mean? Like it's, so I'm a big PI fan over here. So the PI that they hired was Peggy Bezzi, I think is how you say her last name. And she was on it. She found the couple.
Sounds like a force.
Like shortly after they hired her. So they hired her in 1997. Shortly later, I mean, when you don't out west, when you're in Michigan and they're just like,
how did she? Yeah, without
west.
Going there.
Yeah, I mean, goodness, I don't even know how she found them, but she found them shortly after. It's the same year they found her. Jarrett and Barbara were still together, living in basically poverty out in Las Vegas. But there was no trace of Nikole.
She's supposed to be how old?
I mean, 22 at this point.
Wow.
There's like they can't find the family. You're watching. You're trying to figure stuff out. It's not like you're talking to them yet. Like you're still trying to do your recon and stuff. Nothing led them to like oh yep,
weird.
They're coming. Okay, so they kind of do their PI thing and they're like, what the heck? There's no sign of her. So then she's like, okay, well, let me look up school records. She starts looking up school records in Las Vegas. Nothing. Starts looking up medical records in Las Vegas and Nevada. Nothing. Court records. Nothing. The only official record that they find in relation to her and in relation to Nikole was that the Social Security checks that she received from her mother who died. Because when you die and you have a kid, they get Social Security checks.
Okay.
All of those Social Security checks from when she was 2 to when she was 18 were all picked up at the same post office by her dad, Jarrett Betterson.
In the world.
After extensive I'm sure like it was extensive. Like she found this couple so fast. Like, I'm sure she wasn't like, oh well, I'm just gonna mosey through trying to find her. I bet it was like extensive. Yes. Recon research, whatever. She decides I need help. Like I don't know what to do. I don't know what the next steps should be. I can't find that this girl even exists. Wow. So she brings in another PI. Because at this point, the last official record of her being alive that she can find is from Michigan in 1977 before she left.
Did this guy seriously take his little girl away from her grandparents and then kill her?
They're like, she's like, I don't even know where to start at this point. Like, I have no leads. I have nothing. So she calls a friend that's PI, Detective Rosgan, I think is how you say his name. And she was like, I am at a complete loss.
Yeah.
Like, this person doesn't exist anymore. And so he came in, he looked through even different kinds of records, driver's license records, other different types of court records, police records, like all these different things, nationwide databases that he was running her through stuff. Nothing. They could find nothing. So like,
she never went to school anywhere, never went to a doctor, just disappeared.
Not with that name, at least. I mean, like, wow. And so finally they're like, you know what? We have literally nothing. Like, there are no possible leads. Like, we got to talk to them. Like, that is the only thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, talk to the parents.
And again, these are PIs. It's not like they're police that like can go, here's a warrant. Like,
Yeah.
And so he decides, like, you know what? I'm just gonna go freaking knock on his door, like Ashley Flowers style. Like, we're just knocking on doors.
I'm surprised they weren't just like the grandparents be like, hey, we have money we want to give her. Like that sounds like it would be enough to make him talk.
Yeah, I mean, true. I mean, I don't know. But at this point, they're also like, I think we have a missing persons case.
Yeah, for sure.
And so they're going that route. And so Detective Rosgan goes, knocks on the door. Jarrett answers. He's actually in a wheelchair. So he's like a motorized scooter thing. Answers the door, and he's like, hey, Jarrett, I'm Detective Rosgan. I want you to know we know what happened to Nikole.
Oh, played it that way.
Yeah. Said,
it's pretty badass.
We know what happened to Nikole, and things are going to be way better for you if you just come and talk to us than if we have to go through and put you in front of a grand jury.
Wow.
He said, if you come and talk to us and tell us everything that happened.
Something happened.
If you tell us everything that happened, we can get
seriously
you leniency to where
least.
you don't have to go to a grand jury.
So he like seriously suspected
complete
what
lie.
happened.
Just
BS.
Just complete BS. I mean, he had absolutely, awesome. Yeah. Well, he's like, what do we have to lose? We might as well throw the hammer.
Yeah. So what'd he say?
So the guy was like, okay. He said, I need some time, but I will talk to you. And so they're like, okay, like, here's my number. We'll give you 4 days. Obviously, they're watching him. They're not going to
No, where's he going to go? He's
exactly.
Scooter.
Yeah. And I mean, Barbara's still there. Like, his wife, they're married now.
Second wife still there?
Yeah. Well, yeah, he never married the first one. So they're together.
Girlfriend.
So yeah, he said he needs some time to talk. And 4 days later, he called the detective and said that he would need about 3 weeks to set up a meeting with Nikole. Yeah. So they're like, wait a minute. And again, he told, as far as this guy knows, they know what happened to her.
Yeah.
So to then say, I'm going to set up a meeting with her, that leads me to believe she could be alive.
Yeah. Like, what do you do? Like, give her away or sell her or something?
I mean, yeah. Very sketchy. Yeah. Like, who knows? So they're like, what the heck? So obviously they have like a little bit of hope, but they also are like pretty sure nothing good happened to Nikole, And so he says he needs 3 weeks to set up a meeting, and they're like, okay, it's November at this point. So they're like monitoring him, like, what else can they do? They're not cops, so
3 weeks and then you're arrested. That's what I would say.
I mean, like, it's just like, what do they do? Well, the 3 weeks come, they get no answer. They call back.
He's gone.
It's after Thanksgiving. They're not gone. They're at the house.
Oh, okay.
They are, trying to figure out, like, what the heck,
What'd
they call him, didn't answer. Call him, didn't answer. Go knock on the door, didn't answer. After, I forget how many weeks. Maybe it was a week after Thanksgiving, so a week of this, like, them not calling back, whatever. They went to go
after
and check.
their 3 week deadline.
Murder-suicide.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
He killed her and then himself.
Yep. And they actually had
from a
planned
wheelchair?
it. They had actually planned it. So
she was in on it?
She was in. So before they did this, they sent a letter to Susan's parents, and with a little note that said, all the wounds we have put in your hearts with our tragic and youthful blunders, please forgive us. Here's $900 for our cremations.
Why would they be responsible for their cremations? That's stupid.
That's what it said. That's what the letter said.
I bet this Mary and Bill were like, I'm pocketing this $900 and I don't care. You call your own family for cremation.
Yeah. And so, like,
there was basically a confession.
There was no suicide, but confession to what though? The fact that he said he could set up a meeting.
Obviously in connection to Nikole, but
yeah, but like
they didn't say what happened.
Sell her? Did they kill her? Did they abandon her?
Wow.
The fact that he said...
That's weird he said set up a meeting with her.
Yeah, that's weird. The fact that he...
And also he waited 3 weeks to do the... Like, was it 3 weeks to, like, get up the courage to do the murder-suicide? Or, like, what were you actually trying to do in those 3 weeks? Well, you think they would have just been like, you know what? If he... Like, you think he would have just answered the door and been give me a couple days and then just offed himself in that 4-day window. Why do you wait so long?
I think they also sent a letter to his mom.
That's who should have.
That said, we had hoped our troubles would never touch our families, so we kept to ourselves. We've tried to follow God. Now it's time for him to judge us.
Weird.
Yeah.
Trouble.
And so, like, the way they did it was, like, he actually shot her in the chest in their bed and then, like, she had, like, a Bible and a rose or something. And then he shot himself in the next room.
So she was in on the murder-suicide thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so weird.
But they knew they were in trouble, I assume. But like,
and left with no answers?
No answers. Like they couldn't have been like, yeah, here's what we did to her.
Yeah, that's what they should have done.
Yeah. Yeah. So they have literally no idea what happened to her.
Wow.
Yeah. No records of her existing whatsoever after she left Michigan.
Which she was 2.
Yeah. And so you just think like
poor grandparent.
But I mean, think about like, okay, so the days it would take you to get from Dearborn, Michigan to Las Vegas. Back then it's probably like a 2 or 3 day drive maybe, traveling time. So like, then you have to find a place to live. I mean, they couldn't, I'm sure the PI did all this. Like when they bought the house in Vegas, did they have a kid with them? Like to the realtor? You know what I'm saying? Like
how old did she live to be? Or like how old did they have her? Like there's so many questions.
Yeah. Like I just, reading through the story, I assumed that they like killed her or got rid of her.
Well, and like they easily could have left her with the parents if they didn't want her.
Exactly.
Like if they wanted to start a new life with his girlfriend in Vegas, like, okay, there's 2 people that want that baby.
Exactly. Well, easy. That would have been easy. So like it was an accident. They accidentally killed her. But then to keep the Social Security checks coming,
they covered it up. Whatever it is, they covered it up.
They're like, oh, well, if we go to the police, we're probably going to get in trouble and we're going to lose the Social Security checks. Like until she was 18, the dad would go and pick up and sign for the Social Security checks.
So she's considered a missing person.
She's considered a missing person. How old is she?
That's insane.
Whether you're a team of 1 or 1,000, Bo Digital can help make your marketing goals a reality.
Let's be honest, most of us who run our own businesses need help in the marketing category. Either you have no clue what an algorithm is or you just don't have time to mess with it, Bo can help you with that. They offer an a la carte menu of marketing services where you can take what you need. It can be your website, your socials, newsletters, or even blogs. Bo can help you take some of it off your plate and free up time for you to focus more on the things that you love. I personally use Bo Digital in my own small business, and I love them and the team that they have and the knowledge that they possess is far beyond anything that I could do on my own. If you're looking to grow your business, you have to put a bow on it. You can reach out to them on their website, bowdigital.com, or on Facebook, BOWE digital.com.
And so, like, some description. I mean, obviously, this is from when she's 2, but I mean, she's a biracial African American Caucasian female. She had brown hair. There's pictures. We'll post a picture of her, but there's literally like on the Charlie Project, which does a really good job of like updating like pictures and like different things. There's like one picture, and the grandparents even said they have like one picture of her left.
Oh my God.
She was 2. It was 1977.
An entire person that
what I mean?
Disappeared from the face of the earth.
Yeah.
No pictures.
Yeah.
No idea where she went or what happened to her.
Right.
That's insane.
So I mean, she was born in 1975.
And it would be so easy to say that she died or they killed her if it wasn't for that. Let me set up a meeting with her.
It'll take me 3 weeks to get a meeting with her.
Because that to me sounds like maybe he gave her away or sold her.
Right.
Or like, something like that.
Or then like the whole killing yourself thing sounds like
guilty. Yeah.
Murder. Yeah. I mean, hard to say. But, to bring this
regardless, he was guilty of the Social Security check, so.
For sure. Yeah. But like to bring this back, like here you are, you have this family that like didn't care about this girl's life, you know, to some extent. And so, you know, if you see these situations where there's like, and I'm not blaming this all on the stepmom, I'm not, but like I know there have been situations, stepmom gets involved, the care for the children gets thrown out the window. Just be paying attention to those situations is all I'm saying. If somebody you care about is going to be, it's 2024, communication, social media.
Yeah, that's true.
Like it's a different game now, but just keep tabs on those, you know? When you see the kids in pictures, if you're friends with somebody and they move halfway across the country and you keep tabs on them on Facebook and you see the kids in the pictures, like how do they look? You know, like just,
or are they still in the pictures?
Yeah,
And there's so many cases right now. Like I said, I think a couple of weeks ago, the true crime world right now is absolutely insane with like children being kidnapped or, go missing or something. And it is almost always somebody that they knew or they're related to. But yeah, there's been a lot of like the kids just disappear and it's the parents, a lot of abuse, a lot of neglect right now.
Or family friends.
But a lot of parents just not being parents and deciding to stop caring for their kids and covering it up. And they go months with out anyone knowing, just lying that, oh, the kid is with this grandparent or this person or whatever. And then come to find out they actually killed them months ago and they've just been living their life without them. So
sad. Heartbreak. Oh my gosh. I love being a dad.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't even fathom.
I know that's one of the, child abuse is one of the things it's hard to wrap your mind around, how it can happen. And so
unfortunately in this case, I'm not sure if anybody alive knows something anymore. But, in all the potential cases out there, be on the lookout.
I would say somebody knows something, though.
I mean,
a neighbor or somebody saw a little girl with those people at some point.
They ditched her on the way to Vegas.
Somebody saw something.
Who knows?
At a gas station or a restaurant. I don't know, something. Crazy. That's a crazy case. I hate stuff like that.
Yeah.
The no answers one.
Yeah.
Nothing that makes sense.
This podcast is a So.Will.I.Studos production. So will I.